Okay, well, thank you for coming in. So, during our last sessions, we focused a lot on the coping skills and the anger. Can you tell me a little bit more about the coping skills that you are using to manage your anger?
Sure. I think the like number one that's been really helpful is the deep breathing. That one, I really like it 'cause I can like feel myself calming down. Like if I'm like angry or pissed off, or I need to make sure to take that moment to kind of I I count to 10 and then
Mm-hmm.
I do the deep breathing, and then that way it just kind of like helps me to cool down. And that one, I mean, we breathe on a daily basis. I don't know. I mean, that one was really helpful where it was just, I didn't realize how just something simple like that was able to be so helpful.
Yeah. Do you feel more in control of your anger versus when you started services?
I think so, yeah, because I have to think, I'm more aware of it, I think, and I think about it as opposed to before where it's more reactive,
Mm-hmm.
where I would just kind of, I'm angry, so I'm gonna take it out on someone. I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna hit, as opposed to now where it's kind of like, okay, chill, like take a breather, and I'm able to do that.
Okay, perfect. So a little bit of what I also like to explore a little bit more with you is, can you tell me a little bit about where that anger stems from in your life?
Where it stems from, like my anger.
Yeah, what part of it? Think of where you remember this anger began in your life.
I think it began like as far as I can remember, like when I was a child, maybe when like kinder or first like 6 or 7 years old, around there. Where I mean, that's as far as I can remember. I feel like where I was just always so angry, and I think it got worse once I started school. And again, that's as far as I can remember,
Mm-hmm.
but that's around the time where it kind of just I would lash out. I would pick on kids. I mean, and just kind of start fights. And I mean, I was constantly in the office. I was constantly being stuck to the principals and calling my parents, my nanny, and I never really liked school or the teachers for that matter. So I think that's kind of where it started from.
Tell me a little bit more about, your childhood, growing up and in school, where you said you experienced a lot of that anger.
Well, I think it kind of just um, carried throughout and whatnot, just throughout my school years and elementary school. Yeah, I was mean, and I still had a couple friends and whatnot. But I think it was around like middle school or like 6th grade, so it was just barely going into my teens, and um, I think I was even more mean, and so I didn't have any friends. I would have people who would listen to me, because otherwise I would beat them up. Because if they didn't listen, then I didn't like that, so I would kick their butts. And so I think it just got progressively worse, where I would lash out or be angry at kids for not wanting to play with me or not wanting to be my friend. So I get upset, but at that time I didn't know I was upset. I just knew I was angry, and so I would start fights at school, and so it just got progressively worse at that point.
How did that affect your life?
Well, I was very lonely. I didn't have anyone at school or at home because mom and dad worked all the time, and most of the time I spent was with my nanny, and that's about the only person I really had a strong connection with. Because otherwise, I didn't have anyone else, or it's just I would play at home with my nanny, but that was about it. At school, I would play on the playground, but by myself, or if I wasn't hitting kids or whatever. But that was basically my interactions at school.
Mhm. Sounds like you dealt with a lot of rejection from the kids not wanting to be your friend due to being unable to manage some of your anger.
Yeah, I guess so. I just didn't like that feeling of being rejected, and when it did happen, that's when I would get more upset and almost like force them to accept me and kind of be there and be my friends.
Yeah. Let's try something out. Um, can you draw me what would represent that stage in your life where you dealt with a lot of the rejection, not having friends, and feeling like you didn't really have a lot of people to count on?
Oh,
You can go ahead and choose.
okay. Mm, so just how it was representative?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that would be it.
Okay. So I see you use the color black, and I can see some of the anger and um, also just the lines around it. What does this mean to you?
It's just I always felt really angry and like I wanted to have friends, but then I didn't. No one wanted to be my friend, so I didn't want to see them. So I think that's why I like marked them even with X's and stuff because want to. I didn't want to believe that that was my life, and it was just really ugly, like dark place where I didn't. I guess figuratively, like I didn't um, see any light in it or anytime getting better because like I said, it just got progressively worse. And I think in middle school, going into high school was horrible. And so I think it was around freshman year. I think it was like 14 or 15. I don't remember. But it was just, it kept getting progressively like dark and ugly and lonely. And then at that point, I even considered, like cutting and like harming myself. But I mean, I didn't. But it just, the thoughts were there. So it was just really bad.
What about that high school period was very dark for you?
Um, because I would see like kind of like the cliques and stuff, and people had them. Like, yeah, people say like cliques are bad or whatever, but cliques, it's a group. You have friends regardless. I wasn't part of any of them. I just kind of wandered around the hallways, or I would just kind of do my own thing, but I didn't have anyone. I didn't participate in anything. I hated school, and it made me mad that I couldn't have what they had, and just they were all in groups having a good time at lunch. Lunch was the worst. People they had like DJ out there every lunch period and people having a good time, but I was I wasn't anywhere near that.
Hmm. What did that do to your self-esteem?
I think it really shot it down. I think, especially in high school, because that was when I saw it the most how left out I was and how I didn't fit in. So I was like, crap, like is this what my life is gonna be like? Am I not worth being a friend to or having friends or just having that social support, I guess. So I didn't have any self esteem and I just thought that I wasn't worth anyone's friendship.
Hmm. So it sounds like not having all those peer relationships, not being able to make the friends, seems like that really affected your self-esteem and caused you to feel like you were didn't have as much worth as everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. So I hated the fact of being rejected and not having friends and not having girlfriends to kind of go to the mall with or I don't know, go to the movies or even just have sleepovers or watch movies and yeah, it was I didn't have any confidence whatsoever, self esteem. And it's still a work in progress, but it's just that is the one time that I can remember where I was at the lowest.
And what else did that do or prevent in your life?
Um, I think it also had a great effect on like dating. So I guess towards the end of high school it got a little bit better, and this was around like 16 or 17, like towards the end already. And so I started dating, and I was like, whoa, like this is new. I never really had attracted a guy or anything like that. So I was like, I like that. Someone was finally being accepting and like wanted to be with me. But then I would pick fights, I would make arguments just because I was becoming so possessive and I didn't want anyone else to see that person or for him to look at anyone else. So I didn't have the enough confidence to talk to someone, to be in a relationship, to kind of know what that was like. So I mean, I think that lasted a while too. I mean, now being in my mid 20s and been dating for like the past 10 years, there hasn't been anything really serious. So I was just, I don't know, I mean, again, it's a work in progress, but I think I noticed that took a big hit in the dating environment.
Hmm. Can you think of or can you identify a time now in your life where you are able to manage your anger um, and you've seen something good come out of that?
Mm, well, now, I have a few friends who I consider um, like true supportive friends, and I think that they think the same of me. I just have like two, three friends that I met not that long ago in school, and I don't know. I think that's been the positive as far as being able to manage the anger and stuff. And they know my past and the reactivity that I engage in and the anger issues that I have. And I don't know. I think it helps to have someone, have them as support and just kind of, that helps me too with like, they help me and they'll remind me sometimes like, hey, you need to chill. And I was like, oh yeah, and I can take it. And I do like deep breathing and I'm not embarrassed to do it with them. So I think that's definitely been a positive in my life.
Mhm. What are some other things that you enjoy doing now that you have made these positive relationships with people?
Well, I think I enjoy the support and just having someone in general to talk to about things that are going on, and even having that acceptance of who I am. You know, even with all the anger issues and growing up with a very like nasty and ugly childhood. You know, these friends that I have now, they provide this light, I guess, that I didn't see before, which I'm really glad to have found, because otherwise, I don't know how much longer I'd be able to take it.
Tell me a little bit more about how things are right now for you. It sounds like there's been some progress.
I definitely think so. I'm back in school. My mom is retired now, so she's been a lot more supportive and helpful as well. And we definitely have a better relationship. So I think, I don't know what it was, but now I see that